Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you guys can tell by the title of the video, today I'm actually going to be walking you guys through how I only work about 2 to 3 hours a day doing my full-time job. And if you guys don't know what that is, hopefully you do, because you're at this channel that's basically buying and selling phones. So initially, just a couple months ago, I was probably doing this full-time, working about 5 to 6 hours a day. And I'm going to be explaining how I took it from that point to working 2 to 3 hours a day, sometimes even just an hour and 30 minutes in a single day, how I did it. So hopefully you guys find some value in today's video, and if you guys do, which I know you will, definitely give the video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you guys aren't subbed to the channel yet, you guys know what to do. We just passed 2K on the road to 5K. So with that said, hit that subscription button down below. It would really mean the world to me. So let's hop into my computer right now. I have a couple notes written for you guys, so let's get right into it. So again, today I'm going to be walking you guys just through 3 points on how I work about 2 to 3 hours per day, sometimes even less, flipping phones. And obviously, if you guys know, this is my full-time job. So if I'm able to do it with this little amount of work, hopefully you guys, if you take these steps, you guys can do it as well, implementing them into your own phone flipping business models. Well, the first point is I actually found my winning platform. So that is super important when it took me to that point where I was realizing 5 to 6 hours a day isn't really necessary. I was kind of spending my time on Letgo, OfferUp, Craigslist. I was putting ads all over the place, and those platforms worked. Specifically, OfferUp was like my main go-to. I did do pretty well. I probably spent about 60 to 70% of my time on there just because it was working for me. But after a while, I obviously try new things. I love finding new ways that people don't really think about. And I actually found that Facebook advertising is my platform. It's where I make most of my money, and so I still tap into other platforms. I have this point written here, but 95% focus on that one platform, and that is obviously Facebook advertising. So for any of you that are at a point where you, obviously, if you've watched my videos, I always used to promote Craigslist, all these free platforms, OfferUp, Letgo, 5 Mile, I don't remember, there's a couple other ones as well, but they'll 100% work for you. But you want to find, if you want to like automate your business in a sense and take it to where you're just working maybe an hour or two a day, you really need to be focusing on your time on that one platform that will make you the most money. Yeah, you might be losing 5 to 10% of that share, but that'll easily make up for itself if you guys are really just focusing on which platform is really making you all the money. Because if you put all your marbles into there, and that's the one that was initially making you most of the money, that's going to exponentially grow. So that's definitely something to think about. And again, the third point, I mentioned this a little bit, but I use this to automate my process, and that's why I like Facebook advertising. That's why I just released a course on it. It was like 97 bucks. It's nothing insane, but the amount of value that you guys can have by hopping in that course, it'll only take you about 2 hours to go through it, but it'll really start to automate your business, and that's why I found it so valuable. And that's really what is probably the main factor, what's taken me down so many hours to the point where I'm only working a few hours a day doing this as my full-time job. So, and a cool point about it is Facebook advertising, you just put up ads once, they never get taken down unless they're initially disapproved, which you shouldn't have to worry about in some cases. But I mean, it automates it. I have a funnel where it already pre-screens these phones, so whenever somebody's interested, they click that send message button. They already have a template where I tell them, shoot me the model, the gigabyte, the carrier, and the condition. So I'm already, in a sense, pre-screening those phones. So when they get to me, into my inbox, I already know what I'm working with, and I might just have to ask 1 or 2 more questions to be able to get the price that I want. So moving on to the point 2, is I figured out how to move inventory. And this is something that's not only made me work a lot less for gaining the same amount of income or even more, but in a sense it builds off of that. It's made me a lot more money having this money move instead of just sitting on it. And that's a big part of why I can say I made this video, is I figured out how to move the inventory. So I say in point 8 here, know where you're going to sell, at what price that will make it move. And so I basically work backwards from there. So if I mean 90% of my phones honestly go to private buyers. I do use local platforms like I still sell some locally on OfferUp at the right price. Sometimes on Mercari, if the private buyer I don't think can match the price that I could get even after fees. So I really just have to figure out where I'm going to be selling that phone, and that's super important, number one. And then I figure out what price I can sell for, and then obviously I'll work backwards from there. So I'll subtract profits and any expenses that I'm going to incur when selling that phone, like shipping, like platform fees, and whatever anything else comes up. So that's honestly what's made a huge impact. And so now I only hold on to phones for probably 1-2 days max. Sometimes even I ship out the same day, especially in my private buyers or the next business day I always promote. That just keeps good business and it keeps the buyers happy. So that's a huge thing. And so every time a phone comes to me, I pretty much, based on what phone it is, I'll know where to sell right away. That just comes with time. And then two, and obviously I've gotten options over time. So I've worked to get those buyers. I've worked to build the platforms that I've worked on, that I can sell on. And I know how to list them properly where they sell fast. But one point I want to mention is I don't price them too high. This is more for like Mercari and in the past eBay and locally. What I'll do is instead I price slightly below. I think this is a pretty cool strategy that I pretty much only promote. Other guys will tell you just price it what the market is. But for me, I'd rather take the hit a little bit on inventory, nothing crazy on the price of that phone that I sold for, and then instead of just holding on to it for an extra couple of days, because I'm going to take a little bit hit on what I'm going to profit for that phone, but I'm going to have the inventory moving, and I can guarantee having that money on me instead of just sitting on a phone waiting for it to sell. I could turn that money into something a lot better, a couple $100s, going out and buying new phones with that kind of money that I got. So you kind of have to think about it in that aspect. It makes sense if you really digest what I'm talking about, but I mean, that's a cool strategy that I implement when I'm trying to move this inventory. And obviously if you have private buyers, they're pretty strict. I never really negotiate at all. I think I might have won some with a private buyer, but you got to keep them happy. You got to keep those phones moving, because that honestly is the best place to go ahead and sell your phones, just because of how easy it is. And that's honestly, having those private buyers have significantly reduced the amount of time I work in a day, because in the past I was doing eBay, I was posting on there. I mean, it's in the beginning, a lot of the times it'll take you 20-30 minutes to post something, because you just have to work through it, make sure everything looks good. You have to take pictures and everything like that. With a private buyer, all you do is tell them, hopefully they have that trust in you. You go ahead, invoice them, takes probably about 2 minutes overall, and you get the money's already in your account, and you're already moving that inventory right after. So the last one is something a little bit more technical into what I do day to day with my phone flipping business, and that's I only meet at unpopular times in the day. So I haven't really talked about this on my channel before, but I mean, not all of you are going to have this luxury, but there's definitely ways you can work around it, so hear me out. I only meet at unpopular times. At unpopular times, I really just mean rush hours. So for me, I live in a pretty populated area, Phoenix, Arizona. I literally live pretty much in the heart of it, so like there's like 4 different freeways around me. I mean, if you're in the Midwest, this might not be as much of a problem for you, but I mean, rush hours a big hassle, and sometimes a meetup that is 15 minutes away could take me an hour simply because of some stupid traffic. So that'll easily eat into the amount of hours that are taken out of my day that could be invested into something other, whether it be in the back end of the phone flipping business or other businesses that I'm working on. So if I meet at those unpopular times, those would be usually between 9 and 2. Anything before 9 is pretty packed with people going to work. 9 to 2 is pretty much just probably my golden hour. That's where I buy 90% of my phones. That's where I try to get them. And especially if you do work, you can definitely, like, this will implement into your business. You can too, because just go meet them at lunch. Lunch is not a busy time on freeways. Most people eat at their work, so you're probably not gonna have a problem. Again, this more applies to people that are in busier areas. And then if they can't meet between those times, which a lot of people can, if not, I'll go meet them at their work or something like that. I'll meet between 7 and 9. That's just after late night traffic. So for me, that might be a little bit late, but it's just going to take me the shortest amount of time to get there. So adding those times up with points 1, 2, and 3, that's pretty much how I work, about 2 to 3 hours a day. And sometimes I only work 30 minutes a day. Sometimes I might work a little bit more, but that's just more for the back end things, setting them up to make things more automated later on. Some days you got to have like that just to make your business run a little bit smoother. You have to make that sacrifice in the beginning. So overall, I'll go through it once again. 1, just find your winning platform, test all of them, see which one is going to make you 95% of your money. 2, figure out how to move inventory, whether that's through private buyers, selling at the right price, having good pictures and all that. And then 3, just meet at unpopular times. Again, that won't apply to everybody, but it definitely can help a lot of you. So if you guys found value in today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit that like button. And then if you aren't subbed to the channel yet, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscription button down below. I'd really appreciate the support. With that said, tomorrow's a live stream, Wednesday. If you guys are watching this later, the next video should be my weekly live streams every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I hope to see you guys there. With that said, I'll catch you on Thursday in the next video.